actors, what is strange about the way that I'm talking to you right now? Well, I'm not moving my body at all, except for my mouth and maybe my eyebrows a little bit. This is not how human beings exist in the wild. This is not how we express ourselves. This is not how we communicate with one another. It's certainly not the way that we get what we want. Don't believe me? Film yourself telling a story or explaining something to someone, and then count the number of times you gesture. I guarantee it is much more than you think. If the point of acting is to put the human condition on stage, this ain't it. This ain't the human condition. And yet, there is a lot of advice out there being given by some very well-intentioned people who say that good acting is putting your arms down by your side and doing nothing. Have you ever seen Patti LuPone do a whole show like this? Have you ever seen Audra McDonald take this shape and then never move from it? The people that we will line up around the block to see are moving their bodies to tell stories. Theater is a physical art form. They need to interact with the space around them in order to communicate stuff. Now take a look at this. Ah, interesting. Suddenly a story has emerged. Now you know more about what I'm thinking. You know more information about my character. Maybe you start to guess why I've come here in the first place. Take a look at this. Ah, now I'm a person who exists from my heart center. I'm a person who is like speaking something that's very close to me, maybe something very personal to me. This is where character goes to die. This is where story goes to die and ceases to be told. We have to eliminate this shape from our physical vocabulary. A couple of ways to do this. Number one, often people come into my studio or class I'm teaching or the audition room and we'll be talking and we'll be kikiing and they'll be like finding themselves in like a very natural human shape. And they'll be like, great, let's start the song. And they'll be like, okay, great. And then they'll go back to their actor shape. No. What would it be like instead to find yourself in that shape that you are just existing in naturally and then to start the song in that shape? Great. Now that I'm in that shape, it is much more likely that I will choose other shapes and gestures that are much more naturalistic. A body in motion tends to stay in motion, while a body at rest tends to stay at rest. Another, maybe even better way of handling this is, what is my character feeling at the beginning of the song? Sadness? Great. Well, I can't play sadness, but what I can do is play the physical actions that someone who is sad might take. What would someone who is sad do? Maybe something like this. Great, let's start the song. Maybe this like self-pacifying gesture that we tend to do that comes from real human body language. Great, let's start the song. Another way of thinking about this is the intention that I'm playing. Intentions are physical doings aimed at eliminating obstacles. What is my intention? Maybe to comfort? Great, what is the physical way that I will comfort someone? Great, let's start the song. What I'm not going to do is this. I promise you don't need this at the beginning of the song, in the middle of the song, or at the end of the song. I'm not suggesting that we go around flailing our arms around just for the sake of doing it. But what I am suggesting is that we tend to the story that our body is telling. The audience is going to get a story from your physical body no matter what. It might as well be the story that you mean to be telling. Break a leg.